When my adoptive mother tried to take my heart for her biological son, I was lying on the operating table and suddenly caught a glimpse of my mom's translucent figure. She was crying as she spoke to me. Grab the hand of the nurse next to you and repeat after me. Once you finish, you'll have a mom and dad again. Really? All I have to do is say it and I'll have parents again. My fingers twitched and I struggled to reach out and grab the hand of the nurse crouching beside me. Then I stumbled through the words my mom was mouthing to me. Ma'am, I did not agree to donate anything. Please help me. My daddy's name is Bai Zhiyuan. His number starts with 132. My mommy's name is Lin Wanner. My name is Xiaoyu. I'm 4.5 years old. Please save me. My voice was barely a thread of sound, like a tiny kitten taking its last breath. The nurse froze for a split second, and then white-hot rage took over. These people were trafficking a child for illegal organ harvesting. No wonder this kid had been drugged and brought in unconscious. She grabbed an excuse and bolted out of the operating room. Sprinting to the nearest storage closet, she shoved the door shut and dialed the number immediately. After a few rings, a deep and steady male voice came through, carrying a trace of impatience but still measured and polite. Hello. The nurse knew every second counted, and fired the words out as fast as she could. Hi, is this Mr. Bai Zhiyuan? This is Zhongbei City People's Hospital. Your son has been kidnapped. He is being forced into an organ transplant right now, and he asked me to call you for help. His mother's name is Lin Wanner. He is 4.5 years old. My dad had been about to hang up, but the moment that familiar name hit his ears, he snapped his hand up in a sharp gesture and the entire study went dead silent. The woman who had run from him 5 years ago, Bai Zhiyuan, only said one thing back. I don't care who you are, stall that surgery, and I will wire you 5 million. I am Dingsheng Group. Bai Zhiyuan does not make promises he doesn't keep. He ended the call before she could respond. He shot to his feet and barked the order, helicopter People's Hospital now. I need to be there in 10 minutes. Get me the hospital director on the line immediately. If that director cannot keep a boy named Xiaoyu safe, that is entirely his problem. His female secretary stood there completely blindsided. Sir, this Xiaoyu is my son. Those 3 words hit everyone in the room like a thunderbolt. On the other end of things, the nurse felt her stomach drop. When the lights above her flickered back on, they had restored power that fast. She clutched her phone and took off running. She headed straight for the second-floor electrical room, yanked the breaker for the operating room, then locked herself inside, and finally let herself breathe for just a moment. That was when she replayed my dad's words, and the full weight of it landed on her Dingsheng Group's Bai Zhiyuan, the man at the top of the Forbes list. Meanwhile, down in the operating room, the second blackout threw everything into complete chaos. The people outside the door were cursing at the top of their lungs. The brave nurse had fought to stall for 20 minutes, even sparking a full-on scene. But one person can only hold off so many after she was physically restrained. She was frantic with desperation and screamed at everyone walking by. Help, someone in there is trafficking a child for illegal organ harvesting. Please call the police. Her voice climbed higher and higher, but the operating room door had already swung back shut. The surgery was continuing, and someone had clamped a hand hard over her mouth. Her cries had drawn onlookers, but before anyone could act, 2 large hands smothered her completely, and a white coat behind her drove a sedative needle in, dropping her to the floor in seconds. A male doctor stepped out and explained it away casually. She's a psych ward patient who keeps escaping, always dressing up as nurses and causing scenes. Everything's under control, I'll take her back right now. The crowd dispersed and wrote it off as just another spectacle. Meanwhile, inside the operating room, the surgeon had already begun tracing lines across my chest. The cold touch of the scalpel sent a chill straight through me, but outside that door there was nothing but silence. Did I really have a dad out there? If he was real, why hadn't he come for me yet? My eyes drifted to the nurse in the room beside me, completely shattered and helpless. I wanted to reach out and touch her to tell her it was okay, but there was nothing left in me to move. The very instant the scalpel broke my skin, a sharp shout erupted from outside the door. Who are you people, Director Lee? What are you doing here yourself? This is just a routine procedure, there was no need to come personally. What exactly is going on in there? There was a tremendous crash, and the operating room door was kicked wide open with pure force. The surgeons inside all froze and stared at each other. Hearing the hospital director's commanding voice through the door, the surgeons scrambled out of the way. I looked up in disbelief and saw a stream of people pouring in. One of them walked straight toward me. Was that my daddy? The translucent figure that had only been visible from the waist up finally broke into a smile of pure relief. She reached out and gently wrapped her hand around my little fingers. Her eyes were full of tears and she whispered softly in my ear. That's your daddy, mommy has to go now. Let daddy take care of you from here on. You have to be happy and healthy. Promise, mommy, you'll eat your meals and sleep well before she finished. That translucent figure faded away completely, and I lay there in a daze with tears streaming down my face. You liar, mommy, you big liar. You promised you would always be with me, but daddy just got here, and you're already leaving from the pool of blood alone. The moment my dad laid eyes on me, he knew with absolute certainty that the boy on that table was his own flesh and blood. My face was small and young, but it was unmistakably carved from the same mold as my mother. Something in that bond pulled him closer without him even thinking. He looked at my tear-soaked face, the wound on my chest still seeping, and my tiny frame, as thin and fragile as a stray kitten, fury shot straight through him. My dad, who never let emotion show, lost it completely. One glance at his female assistant was all it took for someone to rush over and tend to my wound. The adoptive mother and her mother were petrified, but they were no match for the people in that room and they knew it, so they could only posture and shriek. You can't just take a child in front of everyone like this, that is against the law. I'm calling the police right now, you better not move. Give our child back, our baby has a heart condition. If something happens to him, can you live with that, Director Lee? Say something, who is this man? What does he think he's doing? Director Lee grabbed the adoptive mother by the arm, already drenched in cold sweat and screaming on the inside. How on earth did he get tangled up in this? The male bodyguards moved swiftly and secured everyone in the room. My dad's eyes were as cold and sharp as a blade, and a thin smile crossed the corner of his mouth. What am I doing? Let me ask you something first. Whatever you did to my son, I plan to do the exact same to yours. Consider this a little welcome gift from his real father. The female assistant gave a nod, and 2 surgeons stepped forward, drawing the same markings on the adoptive son's chest that matched my own wound. The sight of it sent the adoptive mother and her mother into a screaming frenzy of horror and rage. My dad's brow twitched once, and someone immediately moved to silence them. The female assistant spoke up at just the right moment. Sir, young Master Xiaoyu's wound has been fully sutured. Only then did my dad turn and walk toward the bed. His body went still for a moment. Then he bent down slowly and lifted me into his arms with careful, gentle